The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. A beautiful afternoon from downtown St. Louis as the weekend series continues. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Game one, the Cardinals came up just a bit short, but a bright spot was Aledmys Diaz. He went 3 for 4. He's a part of Archaea in the driver's seat. Leads the National League in OPS, second in average, third with balls put in play. Jim Hayes is here. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Really good game one. Now we turn the page, look ahead to game number 2. And Tim, what can we expect?
Well, a disturbing trend for the Cardinals in this homestand has been whether they're hitting or in the game against an opposition, they're falling behind. They're getting behind in the count, 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. And they're falling behind in the score, 2-0, 3-0. Adam Wainwright tied the game with a 3-run home run his last outing. So today and in the future, the near future, I think it would behoove the Cardinals to get a lead occasionally and let somebody else play catch up.
And that means getting the offense going. It has been sluggish during this homestand. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Just 11 runs in the last 4 games. That offense will face left-hander Jeff Locke. Wainwright for the Cardinals. Cardinals and Pirates comes your way next. Here in downtown St. Louis, Game 2, the Pirates and the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright gets the call today. Absolutely gorgeous afternoon here in downtown St. Louis. Game 2, the Pirates and the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright gets the call today. Last time at the plate, he homered. This tied the game up at 3-3. For Wainwright, his 7th career home run. You know what happens next. Carlos Martinez at the end of a receiving line.
I told him, I said, hey, when I'm pitching and I hit a bomb, don't be coming up in my face and throwing 2 cups of water on me. He said, okay. So he came over and he said, kind of gave me that, like, what do you think? I'm like, give it to me. It's a good problem to have, you know. It's 2 cups, a little much. I'll take a little splash as a trade for a home run any day, though.
Adam and the Cardinals and their fans, they loved it that night. 3 hits this season for Wainwright. All have been extra base hits. He's on the mound today. Baseball comes your way next. The Pirates come into play today at 16-13. The Cardinals an even 500, 15-15. And along with Tim McCarver and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is warm, 84 degrees here in the Gateway City, and a beautiful afternoon for baseball. John Jaso will lead it off for the Pirates, followed by Andrew McCutchen. Then Gregory Polanco hitting third in the lineup for just the second time this year, followed by Starling Marte, Francisco Cervelli, Jung Ho Gung, 2 home runs last night, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jeff Locke. On the mound for the Cardinals, it's Adam Wainwright.
I think worth noting, John Mozeliak talking about Waino and his inability thus far, through his 6 starts thus far, of getting the curveball over. And also, Dan, I think the wind may affect this game. You look at the flags on the top of the roofs in left field. They are blowing out to right field, so we'll see.
A shift on for Jaso. He takes it the other way, and a base hit. So the leadoff man after the first pitch is aboard. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for the Cardinals: Holiday, Grichuk, and Piscotty in the outfield. Carpenter, Diaz on the left side of the infield. Jerko and Adams on the right side. Molina is behind the plate. Wainwright on the mound. And again, that's brought to you by Dobbs. In steps Andrew McCutchen. Through May 6th of last year, Tim, he hit 188, then was a finalist for the MVP. This year, batting just .230.
He had that one good game in Colorado on April 26th when he hit 3 home runs, drove in 5. The other 26 games, he has 3 home runs, drove in 7.
Yeah. After this season, 2 years remain on his contract. He's a extremely popular player.
Oh my gosh, he's the franchise. He is the face and has been.
And McCutchen lifts a fly ball out to deep left, and it's off the wall. On his way to second base, Jaso to third, and McCutchen trots in with his 7th double of the year.
Boy, 2 pitches, single double. So the Buccos wasting no time. They are a free swinging team. They don't wait to get it. If that first pitch is inviting, they hammer. McCutchen did. Ball was about 1.5 feet from going out of here.
So Carpenter is in at third. This is Gregory Polanco. The infield is back. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Last night, 1 for 3 as he hit third in the lineup for the first time this year. There's the curveball just spinning up there for a ball. Opponents are hitting .205 against that curveball of Adam Wainwright. You'd say that's pretty good, but then you look back at what he's done with that curveball since 2008. And batters are hitting .177 against it. So this year, way up compared to the previous year since 2008.
I mean, that curveball is his legacy.
Sure is. Two and 1 the count.
This guy, a very strong hitter. You and I were talking last night before the game and talking about the lift that Polanco has. Not only is he strong, but he can lift the ball, and that's very important if you're going to be a home run hitter.
As you mentioned, the wind blowing out to right could be a factor. The 2-1 pitch. Fights it off. Little flare into left field, and it drops. Run will score. That's Jaso. And the first 3 have reached against Adam Wainwright. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
That's not good base running on McCutchen's part. McCutchen should be on third base. I think he was wary of the guy at third. Well, Jaso took care of himself. He was halfway. And McCutchen, that could be a big play in this inning. Here's the attempt by Diaz. Tough play. And we were talking about McCutchen. He was the runner at second base. Much too tentative right there. Get a read on that. Once that ball hits the ground, you go to third. You think about what a shortstop's got to do. He's got to pick it up, find out where he's going to go with the ball. Too much to do to get McCutchen with great speed.
Here's Starling Marte, the cleanup hitter. 2 for 4 last night. His 13th multi-hit game, second most in the senior circuit. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. 0-1 pitch. Good cutter. 0-2. Adam Wainwright in his career against the Pirates. This is start number 25 against the Buccos. And he is 11-7 in his career. Marte just 5 for 26, a 192 average against Wainwright. Oh-2 pitch, a base hit into center field. They'll hold up the runner at third. That's McCutchen. Bases loaded, nobody out. 4 consecutive hits against Wainwright to start the game. Take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Adam Wainwright coming into play today.
Now, much too good a pitch, particularly after seeing Marte go after that breaking ball on the 0-1 pitch. That made it 0-2. And then Adam was trying to come inside, but left it on the inside part of the plate. Marte took care of it. 3 of the 4 balls hit very hard against Wainwright to open this game.
It's a situation too. He's only walked 4 times, so he is what you would call a free swinger.
Right. You head up him 0-2, try to make him bite.
Now Francisco Cervelli hit a grand slam against the Cardinals late September of last year. He had 2 walks last night. McCutchen the double off the wall. Polanco a blue base hit into left center. And Marte singling into center on an 0-2 pitch. Bases loaded here for Pittsburgh. Curveball floats in there for a strike. Right now, not that sharp bite with the breaking ball.
The one he threw to Marte to get to 0-2, that's the best curveball he had thus far. Such a field pitch.
The 1-1. Much do you think it is right now with Wainwright just trying to get everything with a good feel to it coming off the injury?
We talked about it in the opening. You try to stay ahead if you're a pitcher, and you try to get ahead if you're a hitter. Cardinals haven't been getting ahead, either in the score, in the count, or from a pitching standpoint, falling behind.
Take it high, 3-1. Came back from Tommy John that first month back. The following season was a very rough month for Adam Wainwright. Now he's trying to come back from the Achilles. That first month was un-Wainwright-like. He's set, bases loaded, 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
I'll tell you, I don't know whether that's a good move by Cervelli right there. Number one, the pitch is too good a pitch. He's unbuckling that hideous shin guard he's got on his shin. Balls never carry him off those anyway. But when you're a catcher, you don't have that luxury.
The 3-2, and he got him. Struck him out. Right when he got the strikeout, the Blues scored.
How about that?
The St. Louis Blues have a 3-1 lead.
I'm sure Adam's probably thinking, hey, all it is a strikeout.
I've done this before.
And I get this kind of applause? Hey, the Cardinal fans, all right.
Well, you're a double play away from coming away with just 1 run scored. And wouldn't that be something? A strike to Gung, who homered twice last night. First game of the season back from that horrific knee injury.
Grounded into a double play his first time up last night.
The 0-1. Lined into right field. Piscotty, a good arm. Catch is made. McCutchen, good speed. Fires to the plate. Offline. Runner tags from second to third. And it's a 2-0 Pittsburgh lead. So Gunn now 2 games and 4 RBIs.
4 RBIs in his last 3 at bats. He was down on the field talking with O before the game. They're both from Korea, of course, and I was down there to talk to Eugene, and I came up and I said, you can't believe the power of this guy unless you're standing next to him. I mean, his chest and shoulders, powerful, really powerful.
And you found out that O had recovered from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, and that he had the first Tommy John surgery in Korean history.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So many players now in the big leagues, even position players, have come back from Tommy John surgery. Slowly hit off the bat of Harrison. Carpenter to first, and the Pirates scored 2.
Could have been worse.
We head to the bottom of the first. Clint Hurdle's Pirates up by 2. Pirates to start this contest, and they scored 2 at the top of the first. Matt Carpenter will lead it off. There's Matt, followed by Steven Piscotty and Matt Holliday here in the first inning. Then Randall Grichuk, Yadier Molina, Matt Adams, Jed Jerko, Aledmys Diaz, and the pitcher batting 9th, and he's been dangerous as of late, Adam Wainwright. Jeff Locke gets the call for the Pirates.
Jeff Locke came over in a trade from Atlanta. Nate McLouth went to the Braves several years ago. And picking up a good left-handed pitcher, Jeff Locke can get you out. All-Star in 2013.
Part of that deal with the Atlanta Braves, too, was Charlie Morton and Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez played a little bit as a utility infielder. And Morton had a couple of good years with the Pirates. And he's now done for the year. He tore his hamstring off the bone. And so his season is through with the Phillies. And a strike to Carpenter. Found it really interesting last night. You know, we kept on harping about the approach of the Cardinals against Lariano and strikes early in counts. We'll see what happens here today, as Jeff Locke is a guy that, as most pitchers do, tries to get ahead, but a lot of first pitch strikes. So will the Cardinals be aggressive early in counts as opposed to what they did last night? Here's a 1-1 pitch.
So one thing from a catcher standpoint you try to stay away with, a readable pattern. For instance, a team, if you're getting first ball strikes with the fastball for the first 5 hitters, something like that, you try and break that pattern and not fall into any pattern that the opposition can guess with, to go along with. Oh, he's throwing a lot of first pitch fastball or a lot of breaking balls behind in the count. You mix it up.
The 2-2.
And
what were the reports like?
It's an inexact science too, Dan. I mean, it's feel, a lot of it, but calling a game is that invisible part between the catcher and the pitcher.
Carpenter, a base hit into left center field. He'll try to stretch that to 2. Right out of the batter's box, looking for his 7th double. Diving in head first with a leadoff double.
Good base running by Carpenter. Realizing that had the left fielder fielded that ball and Starling Marte, he's got a better arm than McCutchen. And plus McCutchen, the ball's tailing away from him, and when it's in left center field, you're more inclined to take that extra base, and Matt did.
Stephen Piscotty, one of the best in baseball early on with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals as a team above 300 in this spot. I was going to ask you, Tim, and you played in 4 different decades. How did it change in terms of the meetings with pitchers and catchers, reports that you had, if any, and then all of a sudden it goes into what you're talking about with a pattern for a pitcher?
I've explained that again.
You know, when you look at the video now,
number one, we didn't have video.
Right. But my point is this. So they do. And a lot of times they know, okay, this guy's going to throw a lot of first pitch strikes. So with your experience catching, knowing your guys and knowing some of the reports maybe that you had, how much you tried to vary it up from start to start?
See, that would be my video. My video's locked in. Now, you know, I'm stubborn along those lines too. No, I am, and I admit that. But some of the guys with these videos today, they try to play the game before the game is played, and they may have the picture of the video in their minds, but there are too many things to think about. There are too many things. There are too many field. Your video's not going to match the opposition, perhaps, as an example. These guys, they create their own videos. They may be first ball hitting through 7 of the first 9 guys are first ball hitting. They may be taking early. Who knows? You have to be ahead of them. And I felt like I could always be ahead of them by not being too fine and understanding that everything goes off the pitcher, and with the combination of the hitter too. And as I said, it's inexact, and it's
so it's a feel thing.
It is absolutely a feel thing.
So your scouting reports back then consisted of what? A couple of pages, or just you?
It had to do with me and what I remembered and what I concluded about what hitters like. A guy's not going to change. A guy's not going to be a high ball hitter one series and a low ball hitter the next series. He's not going to like the ball inside one series and then outside the other series. You know, you're giving these guys too much credit. And from a catcher's standpoint, you always want to center on the pitcher, not the hitter. He's the most important guy. That's why good pitching will get out good hitting all the time.
2-2 the count here on Stephen Piscotty with Holiday on deck.
But this video, it's a crisis in baseball, in my opinion. I mean, guys spend too much time in there, and a lot of times they're in watching video of their at bat when they could be talking to a similar hitter, a left-hander talking to a left-hander, righty to a righty. Good at bat so far for Piscotty. It's one-on-one. It's mano a mano, the hitter against the pitcher. And you're the guy who guides the ship. You're the guy who runs that wheel from behind the plate.
Outfield is deep. They are straight away for Piscotty. And the 3-2 pitch with Carpenter at second base on its way. Fouled back. Jeff Locke against St. Louis was 0-2 last year. Overall, he is 2-4 in 8 career starts and has struggled at this ballpark. 20 career innings, 10 earned runs. Good at bat by Stephen Piscotty.
Great at bat.
Tim McCarver's Toyota key to the game.
And talk about being wrong right out of the chute. For the Cardinals, get on top in the count and in the game. A great at bat by Piscotty and Carpenter. But a tough first inning for Adam Wainwright, and as we said, it could have been a lot worse. Only 2 runs.
Those keys to the game are put together usually about 5 minutes before the first pitch. So it didn't just happen.
No.
Here's Holiday with 2 runners on. Matt is hitting .253, 3 homers. He's driven in 14. A double by Carpenter. The walk to Piscotty. 2 balls, no strikes on Holiday.
Give you another example, Dan, about how important a catcher is to a pitcher. How many pitchers shake catchers off during the course of a game? 100 pitches, say. 3 times, 2 times, 4 max. So that means it's in your hands 96% of the time. Break that down and simplify it.
Sure.
That's how important a catcher is. Sometimes with the very conviction of putting fingers down, you get a hitter out. I know that sounds voodoo-ish, but it's not.
Well, you're showing confidence in him.
Yeah, you put down tentative fingers, you're going to get a tentative pitch.
Inside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Randal Grichuk on deck. A 3-1 pitch to Holiday. Now 3-2. Jeff Locke has had 1 bad start this year. That was at San Diego. 3 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned. The other 4 starts, his ERA is just over 2. That's it out of play. 3-2 with Holiday. Tim, do you think about starting the runners here?
No question about it, but Mike Matheny reluctant to do that.
3-1, I don't think I'd do it. 3-2.
No, 3-1, absolutely not. But once it gets to 3-2,
yeah.
I mean, you stay out of a double play. There are all sorts of good things that can happen. I know line drive could be a triple play.
Inside to Holiday. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Pirates defense with Marte, McCutchen, Polanco. That trio in the outfield. Gung, Mercer, Harrison, Jaso along the infield. And Cervelli is behind the plate. The Pittsburgh left-handers since the start of last year have limited the Cardinals. So it's Locke, it's Liriano, it's Watson, who we saw in the bullpen last night, to a 192 average.
Oh my gosh. Strong.
But a chance to do some damage here with the bases loaded. A double, pair of walks. This becomes a big at bat for Randal Grichuk.
And the Cardinals
searching for something positive. First pitch popped up, and it's out of play. Grichuk scored from second base last night on a wild pitch.
Now, the one thing that Locke does not have, he doesn't have that, no pun intended, but that lockdown breaking ball that fades out of the strike zone that's been bedeviling Grichuk all year. For the most part, he's a fastball pitcher.
That could be the right thing here for Randal Grichuk. 0-1 pitch. 0-2. We mentioned it last night. It just seems like Grichuk and in general the Cardinals 0-2, 1-2.
Yeah. Get a fastball here. It's probably going to be out of the strike zone, preferably up.
Up and in.
Go ahead scouts, of course, know everything about the Cardinals, and that's why they know Grichuk has been struggling and is inclined to swing at bad balls. So trying to go up the ladder on the 0-2 pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. .208 with runners in scoring position this year. One-two to Grichuk. Pulled foul.
All fastballs so far.
Just wonder if Mike Matheny has thought about tinkering with this lineup, maybe removing Grichuk from the cleanup spot, dropping him down, Diaz moving him up somewhere near the top of the lineup. One-two pitch is bounced into left field. It's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes another throw to the plate, not in time. Grichuk has tied it up at 2.
And he got another fastball, and this time capitalizes on it to tie the game. Tell you what, that was an excellent play by Chris Maloney, the third base coach. There are a lot of third base coaches that would be safety first, but he realized the jump Piscotty had from second base. Very important. No two situations are the same, and Chris made a very good judgment call by bringing Piscotty home. Piscotty, one of the best base runners on the Cardinal team.
So the first 4 have reached a double, 2 walks, single that scores 2. Rob Manfred had a wide-ranging interview the other day, the commissioner of baseball, and one of the things that was addressed was pace of play, which dropped by about 8 minutes a year ago, and it's back to about 8 minutes. And he says, hey, we got to speed it up.
You eliminate meetings on the mound. That's my suggestion. Meetings should be before the game and after the game, not during the game.
Here's Molina with 2 runners on.
Football has corrected that by huddling. There should be no huddling in baseball. It's not a game where you huddle. Huddle before the game and after the game. Take them to dinner. Do something else.
How about in between innings? Huddle then. Talk about it then.
In the dugout. Right. Not on the mound.
It was also interesting what Rob Manfred had to say is that he'd like to go back to one of your former teams, or at least cities, and reinvest in the city of Montreal. He said once the CBA is agreed upon, which it's up after this year, the collective bargaining agreement, he'd like to look at Montreal and Mexico City for expansion.
I don't know about Mexico City, but I know about Montreal.
They're going to go to third and get the lead man. Bunted back to Locke. You can hear that even up here. They're yelling 3-3-3 to go to third. One spot he couldn't bunt it to was right back to the pitcher.
Am I missing something? But isn't 3 first base?
If you're keeping score, when you're on the field,
What's 3-3-3? I don't understand. I've never heard a catcher, and it's a catcher's call.
because he sees the play.
3-3-3 means first base. The fact that Locke is a left-handed pitcher is the reason that they got the out at third base. Right-handers got to spin to throw it, not a left-hander.
So runners at first and second for Matt Adams. Swinging a hot bat, was injured the other day. And a ground ball. They can turn two. Shovel pass to short. Mercer to first. Double play for 6-3. So just like the Pirates, the Cardinals pick up two. First four reached in the inning. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise one, two right now. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Interesting at the time to see Molina bunt. With Adams on deck and a lefty-lefty matchup potentially.
The world's upside down. I mean, McCutchen doesn't go to third base on a ball that clearly drops in left center field. You could have the Pirates could have now McCutchen eventually scored, and then Molina bunts on a sacrifice with the left-handed hitter up when Molina is leading the team in hitting. The world is upside down, and that inning was too. Sorry.
If fans could see, I would say maybe the 8th and 9th inning of the game last night from up here, they would realize your passion and intensity is carried over to game 2. You're ready to go. Look at you. You're disgusted with me.
Well, what are you bringing these things up for? I mean, you know, there's certain things that we should keep a little closer to the vest.
I love it.
Seems to me. I mean, we're all fans. We're fans of the game. We're fans of the Cardinals. We're the network that brings you the Cardinals. We do get upset about certain things. There's no stoicism up here. And there's no stoicism in our audience. I mean, people get mad. I get mad when when I'm not doing the game and I see you and I say, what did Dan say that for?
I know, it's just because of me. It's not because of the play. You get mad at what I say.
Well, occasionally.
And then I look down at my phone, I get text messages.
Yes.
We need to talk about this. There's a base hit into right center for Jordy Mercer.
I mean, isn't that the fun of it? I mean,
love it.
Following your team and going through all the and realizing the game is not as easy, and we never try to portray it that way, I might add.
No.
It's a very difficult game to play.
Missouri Lottery Fox tracks. Mercer just reaching for it and singles into right center.
Good hitting by Mercer. We talked about last night. He actually tries to go to right field with 2 strikes. Bunt here.
Lock squares. Strike 1. I do find it incredibly interesting. I just got done reading a book by Howard Megdal, who wrote a book called The Cardinals Way. And it really goes back into the mid-2000s of how the organization changed at that time, looking at how they drafted players, and then they obviously had great success with many of those players.
Mid-century, like 1950?
No, it's the mid-2000s.
Oh, mid-2000s.
And so in the book, though, he's able to tie in the recent Cardinals to George Kissel. And apparently George's grandson had a file of notes from George that had never been seen before.
Really?
Fascinating. But a lot of it was
that in itself is a reason to read the book.
And it's just little things too, Tim, about pitchers bunting. That was part of it, and how you bunt and where you go. Surveying defenses, where you hold the bat. Incredibly interesting for a baseball fan. But it tied in the current Cardinals and how it still all makes sense after all these years with the teachings of George Kissel. It was great stuff. 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
How do you lay down a bunt? You catch the ball with the bat. Use the bat as a glove.
Three 3-1 is back to Wainwright. 3-3. Are you happy now?
3 is the first baseman. Yes, I'm happy. We're going to run that Cervelli tape again. It's going to be like the grassy knoll.
I love it.
Baseball's version of the grassy knoll. 3-3-3.
I'm just going to start screaming it from up here anytime I think it needs to go to first. Here's Jaso, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. And that's hit out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I might have to stand corrected on this. I think the truck's talking me into it. I'm being kind of a weenie.
No, sir. Okay, so let's say Tim McCarver is behind the plate. You're surveying what's going.
Third. It's very easy. Third.
Third.
Yes.
Could have been third. It sounded like 3 to us, but
that's why I'm yielding.
See what the Zapruder film later in the game, what it has for us. The 2-2. Tapped foul. Well, it certainly is a unique look here for John Jaso. He's got the beard. He's got hair he hasn't probably washed in about 2 years. And sunglasses. The 2-2. You're yelling in. I can hear that from up here. And Richard coming in. Follow the Cardinals live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment. Game day live All the video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Live baseball on your phone or tablet. Now, in all sincerity, on that pitch, that's a big swing. Sometimes you get the late break by a center fielder on that ball. Infielders screaming right away, in to help out.
Well, speaking of in, there are a lot of outs where pitchers get outs by crowding hitters, and you can't crowd them unless you stay ahead.
McCutchen doubled off the top of the wall and left and scored back in the first.
As an example, if it's 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1 and 3-1, where the hitter is ahead in the count, and you come inside, that's where the hitters are looking. Those are their home run pitches. But if you have the hammer and you get that first pitch strike, right now, where do you think Andrew McCutchen's looking? He's looking inside, something to yank.
Having seen Adam Wainwright, whether it was in the bullpen or starting rotation in his career, I know when he's a little upset with the home plate umpire, and we just saw it after that last pitch. He didn't like a ball called on the pitcher, Jeff Locke, and then 2 pitches ago, he thought he had a strike on McCutchen. And when you're dealing with a guy like McCutchen, 2-0 as opposed to 1-1 is a big difference.
Yes, it is.
But Wainwright will kind of reach for the ball to receive it from Molina and hold it and stare back in and then walk back.
Good rotation on that curveball.
2-2 the count. Talked about the contract situation of McCutchen, free agent 2 years after this season. And the Pirates now, their business model, it's very tough to sign some of their players long term. They were able to do that early with McCutchen before he was truly established. They've done that with Polanco and Marte, but trying to keep him could prove to be very, very tough. And a strikeout of Andrew McCutchen, second of the afternoon for Adam Wainwright. Went from 2-0 to a strikeout of the All-Star center fielder. We're tied up 2-2 midway through 2. For the Cardinals, it's a 2-2 game. Bottom of the second. Where do we find Jim Hayes?
Dan, as you know, Wainwright has been working hard to get back to where he wants to be, but finding his command in any sort of consistent way has been a struggle. Waino hit that game-tying 3-run homer versus the Phillies in his last start. He told me a teammate pointed out that in the innings right after his homer, his curveball and fastball were the best he's had all season. Mike Matheny told me it's probably true, but he doesn't necessarily see any correlation. He told me telling a pitcher to go out and hit a home run as a way to sharpen his curveball, probably not the prescription they'd go with. By the way, Dan, I asked Waino if he's watched video of that home run. He told me a few hundred times, so he has quite a bit, actually.
And Jim, he said that was one time he knew it. It was absolutely gone. All the times he's played Little League, high school. He said that one, yep, I knew it.
That's the one he dreamed of, Dan.
And it was a bomb just to the left of Big Mac Land. And for Adam Wainwright, it was his 7th career home run. This is Jed Jerko, who was hitless last night. Aledmys Diaz also put one right about there. Same night. So the lefty is on the mound, Jeff Locke for the Pirates. And because of that, Liriano last night, Colton Wong sits the last 2 games. Inside. How good was Liriano last night? 24th career double-digit strikeout game. He has 2 this year, and both have been against the Cardinals. And a ground ball into the shift. That's Josh Harrison, and he makes the play. So the second baseman making the play there as you get a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jeff Locke. A lot of first pitch strikes, as we talked about with Locke, nearly 40% of the time.
Not a lot of breaking balls. It really hurt him in his pitching against Randall Grichuk, throwing 7 straight fastballs. Eventually Grichuk got one, hit it hard in the hole, and tied the game for the Cardinals.
Diaz lines it to third.
Another bullet out by Diaz.
Touched upon it earlier. Is it getting to the point, and I understand you want to be cautious with Diaz, you don't want to overexpose him, but is it getting to the point where he needs to move up in the lineup?
I think so.
I would agree.
First month, you know, I think he's past that stage where if he moves someplace, he thinks he's got to do something different. He's got a baseball intelligence that is beyond a lot of players his age.
National
25.
team in Cuba.
You're right. Industriales.
1-1 the count on Adam Wainwright. He has 6 RBIs this year, most by any pitcher. 45 total for his career. That's also most by any active pitcher. Just a good athlete. He was a very good high school football player, kicker, wide receiver, clearly an outstanding pitcher. Drafted high in the draft by the Atlanta Braves. Then traded to St. Louis. And Wainwright hits it down the left field line, broke his bat, and it's a ground rule double. So the last 4 hits for Wainwright have been extra base hits.
You wonder what a guy like John Jaso is thinking. You talked about his hair and his beard and Joe Madden acolyte at first base. But I mean, why would you stand in the path of Adam Wainwright, who just hit a double and almost ran into Jaso at first base? Usually when a guy hits a ball like this, first baseman comes into the infield grass. Waino almost obstructed going to second.
So runner at second brings in Carpenter. First time through the lineup, 3 hits, couple of walks. Much different look to start this game. It was the Cardinals against the Pirates this year, hitting just 179.
Well, that's John Jaso right there saying, oh, I didn't know you'd try to go to second on a ball like that. Where else is he going? The ball's down the line. John beats to his own drummer.
Should be left-handed.
Well, he is. He's a hitter. Half left-handed.
Yeah, I guess that counts.
Yeah.
You know, I work with 3 guys that throw left-handed.
No.
Not you. 3 other guys.
Jim Hayes?
Jimmy Edmonds, Rick Horton, Al Raboski.
Oh.
And they're all just strange dudes. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm locked in, and I'm.
Yeah, you're the straight
exactly.
one in the booth. When you're the straight one, boy, we've got a ton of problems.
All over it, Tim. I mean, I keep things straight up here.
Yeah.
And then you come in here.
We'll have to huddle with Ricky and Al and Jim Edmonds.
You should do that.
Now, what would Cervelli tell Locke?
Maybe going over derby picks. The 2-1 pitch. Carpenter pops it up into shallow center, going out Mercer, called off by McCutchen. A 2-out double by Wainwright, left stranded. We head to the 3rd and a tie ball game. Inside the tunnel in the Cardinals dugout, and that's the home plate umpire, Dana DeMuth. He's also the crew chief. We mentioned it's a very warm afternoon here in St. Louis, mid-80s, and looks like his day will be through. He also took a foul ball off a mask earlier, and you wonder if that's a part of what's happening here, but regardless, looks like his day may be through.
Yeah, it could be a combination of rattling the chops with that foul ball and the heat, even though the humidity is down. Could be a lot hotter in St. Louis, as every St. Louisan knows. But we are hopeful that Dana's okay.
So the umpires are on the phone right now to New York.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Well,
you know, usually you would understand the rotation of the umpires and then who would go where, but
For instance, the first base umpire would come behind the plate.
Right.
Second base would go to first, and the third base umpire would stay at third. So you'd finish the game with 3 umpires. All the umpires have apparel that they use, because if you come in for a 4-game series, you will be behind home plate at least once. And I would imagine that perhaps would apply in a 3-game series.
Yeah, they
because
travel
for
with
emergency.
it. Exactly.
They travel with their equipment, yeah, which are the inner protectors. You see Yachty out there with the chest protector and the shin guards. Of course, the umpires, some of them wear shin guards inside their pants that protect the knees from the ankles, from the ankles to the knees, and the inside protector.
So our guys in the truck, they don't miss a beat. Here was the foul ball with Piscotty at the plate. Just knocked the mask off of Dana DeMuth, and then after that, Cervelli went out to give him time and just talk to Jeff Locke just to buy some time for DeMuth to catch his breath. So 2 of the umpires are still out on the field.
I would imagine Greg Gibson went in to the umpires room, which is almost contiguous, close by to the players' locker room, the home players' locker room. So we would imagine that Greg will come out fully adorned in several minutes.
So we'll take a brief timeout, then have baseball for you in the top of the 3rd when we come back.
We pride ourselves as being tough outs at the plate. I've never started off the season quite like this as far as RBIs go, but I'm not shutting it down. And I know Mike Leake and Jaime and those guys have got their dander up to try to compete. So we'll have a good competition.
And it's carried over to today as Adam Wainwright broke his bat but lifted this ball down the left field line for a ground rule double. The only pitcher in the rotation without a base hit this year is Michael Wacha. That's it. He was telling Jim the other day, just wait, the hits are coming. And Michael Wacha will get the call tomorrow. Really good matchup. Pair of right-handers with Wacha going against the hard-throwing Garrett Cole, who's 2-3 this year. Michael has had 6 starts. He's 2-2, but really some tough luck losses. No run support against Arizona, then in his last start against the Philadelphia Phillies. While we have a moment, we remind you that Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. Told that Ed Hickox will be the home plate umpire. We get back to action. Adam Wainwright, he's ready to go out and start the top of the third. He'll have Polanco, Marte, and Cervelli. Jeff Locke, all he can do is sit and watch, and that's all we do as well, waiting for Ed Hickox to get behind the plate. How tough do you think that is, though, for the starters to adjust from one strike zone now to what should be somewhat different strike zone?
Negligible.
Just do your thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Usually during lulls like this, you'll see the outfielders all huddled together. We've used that word entirely too much on this telecast. And then the infielders on the mound. But Stephen Piscotty in right field, leaning against the shield out there and talking to the guys in the bullpen. I guess he's talking to them. No, that's not Stephen. I thought it was.
Where'd Steven go?
I have no idea.
This isn't like Manny Ramirez forgetting to come out of the monster at Fenway Park. No one could find him.
Manny Ramirez.
This is a concession stand's delight. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Some of the happenings around the game. And one of those that we'll highlight will be the two Chicago teams as Ed Hickox makes his way onto the field. But Chris Sale is 6-0. They'll take on Minnesota. And the White Sox are 20-10 this year. Best record in the American League. The Cubs are playing host to the Nationals today. Jason Hamill and Gio Gonzalez. And Cole Hamill getting a call today for the Rangers. Last night they defeated Detroit, and Hamill's 11-1 since the trade with the Phillies. Chris Sale 6-0. Outstanding lefty. And Jason Hamill, overall his ERA is 1.24 this season for the Cubs. And he's 9-0 in his career against the Washington Nationals. So one umpire down here in this ball game.
And Chris Sale came alive to an American baseball fan about 3 years ago when he pitched in the All-Star game. I believe it was the one at Target Field.
It was.
In Minnesota. Man, I'm telling you, talk about a guy that almost nobody wants to face. Usually you get a right-handed hitter who'll say, well, this guy drops down. I could see the ball real well. Not Sale.
He's about 150 pounds and throws it 100 miles an hour.
And that slider is just relentless.
Pitched against the Cardinals in interleague play here at Busch Stadium, and he was everything we thought he might be, and then some.
He is nasty. What a sport! What a sport when the word nasty is nice.
Yeah, you want to be nasty.
You want to be nasty,
especially if you're a pitcher. There's Nick Leyva, who was a longtime coach with the Cardinals back in the 1980s. Now on Clint Hurdle's staff, the first base coach. Give Wainwright all the time he needs, and he said he's ready to go. Tyler Lyons last night was terrific out of the pen for the Cardinals. 7 strikeouts, most by any reliever in any appearance this year. As Carlos Martinez in the 3rd inning, or rather the 4th inning of last night's game, had to leave with fatigue as he went 3 1/3. He says he's all right. Will be ready to make his next scheduled appearance. So here is Gregory Polanco, and the first pitch taken for a ball as Wainwright just looks back into the home plate umpire. Welcome to the game.
It's interesting that you knew from doing so many Cardinal games, Dan, about Waino's reaction to balls that just miss from an umpire's standpoint.
He's really a pro. You know, he's not out there to show him up, but definitely you get the message. Having seen Wainwright throw thousands of pitches, you know. The 1-1 pitch. That curveball called for a strike, and Polanco didn't like that. Last 22 games here at Busch Stadium, Polanco is hitting close to 400. And he struck him out, held on to by Yadier Molina.
Boy, good sequence right there. We talked about the height of Polanco. He's about 6'5½". And Wainwright, after buckling the knees with a 2-1 curveball, throws this high fastball around the letters to get him.
There's Starling Marte. Singled on an 0-2 pitch to center field back in the first inning. Boy, Marte and Molina, those two have been having a conversation ever since the Pittsburgh Pirates got to town. Have you noticed the confidence of Diaz with his defense as this season has gone on?
I've noticed the confidence of Diaz walking to the valuable box after the game.
Yeah.
I mean, everything he does, you can see it, just the assurity growing with every passing day.
Well, it's back, Cardinals fans. The refreshing taste of the frozen strawberry lemonade. It's available all summer long, and it's only at McDonald's. 2 quick outs, and here's Cervelli. Struck out with the bases loaded back in the first.
Once your talent is established and people know that you can go to your right, you can throw, the strength of your arm, the power, contact, whatever it is, knowing you belong is the most important thing. Knowing you belong. And there are some guys that start doubting that after a while. Take a few offers as a hitter, get lit up as a pitcher over 2 or 3 starts. You start thinking, am I really that good? This guy, stuff like that doesn't enter his mind. And I know he's been going well, but I think he'll have some rocky times, but I think he's a guy that can handle adversity too.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's stage 2 for a major leaguer. How do you handle failure? Because you're going to fail.
It's a game of failure.
It's a game of failure.
The next to Cervelli. Curveball, and he struck him out. He has struck out 3 of the last 4 he's seen. Midway through 3, we're tied up 2-2. 6 is a serious number and on the run. When the Cardinals score 6, any size drink, just 50 cents the next day. That's coffee, fountain, or frozen drinks. When they score, you pour. At your nearest on the run, you earned it. So it looks like the Blues will come home Monday night with a chance to wrap it up at Scottrade Center. Wouldn't that be something? Piscotty, Holiday, Grichuk for St. Louis. All of a sudden, it seems like Adam Wainwright, after a rough start, has really settled into this game.
Yeah, that third inning may have been his best half inning in a while.
Piscotty, a high fly ball. Deep right center. It'll carry, and it's gone. Home run, Stephen Piscotty. His 5th of the year. The Cardinals have their first lead.
Talked about reading patterns from a hitter standpoint. Piscotty going up, looking for the fastball, got it, put a good swing on it, and just tremendous power to center and right field. Piscotty not a pull hitter by any means. He'll pull that ball down and in, but not too many others.
Initially off the bat, it's really 50-50. It seemed like if it would carry out of here, then as you noted earlier, the wind is blowing out to right, may have aided that.
Well, you can see him on the flags down the left field line. The wind just whipping across to right field.
Catch made by McCutchen as the Blues have won. They're having some fun over at Ballpark Village just across the street. Cardinals with a 3-2 lead. The Blues have a commanding now 3-2 lead.
And back home when Monday, right? Monday night.
Monday night. Back to Jeff Locke. There's 2 outs. Well, you'd hope everybody here be focused on baseball now that the hockey game is over, but there is a big race coming up. There's some here at the ballpark that are a little concerned about that derby. Wonder what will Dan Farrell be up to today?
Most exciting 2 minutes in sports. I think Grantland Rice said that, or one of the older sports writers back in the 20s or 30s. Grantland Rice, Damon Runyon maybe, who was a real sports fanatic.
Here's a 1-1.
And the bonnets are already flowing from the head at the Kentucky. Oh man, mint julep might be the worst drink I've ever. It's horrible, horrible.
Here's a ground ball that's hit to short. And Mercer makes the play. Some excitement for those in the bleachers in right center field. A Stephen Piscotty souvenir with that home run. The Cardinals go on top 3-2.
Greatest salesman ever. First mint julep.
On television, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. There is concussion protocol, by the way, for umpires as well. So it's official. Dana DeMuth will not return in this game. So his day is through. If you're just joining us, he took a foul ball in the second inning off his mask and had to leave. Told he was lightheaded, a little bit dizzy. So his day is through. Let's go back to Adam Wainwright. First inning with the curveball to what we've seen now.
It was rolling early.
Yeah.
No bite downward.
Jung Ho Gung, Josh Harrison, and Jordy Mercer. Happy 8th birthday to Nick Schamel. Nick Schamel watching the game today on Fox Sports Midwest. Charging Diaz, gloves, and makes the play. That's 7 in a row sent down by Adam Wainwright. Harrison last night had his 14th RBI from the 7th spot in the lineup. That's second most in baseball. Usually think of that spot in the lineup not being your RBI position.
So many 300 hitters in front of him, though.
Sure.
Chance to drive them in.
The Pirates are a real athletic team too.
Oh yeah.
Good speed. 0-1 pitch. There's the curveball lifted out to shallow left, and the catch is made by Holiday. Brings in Jordy Mercer, who singled to right center. Sun is shining brightly. All is right in the world. The Blues have won. The Cardinals are winning. Tim has a winning pick for the Derby coming up later this afternoon.
I am hopeful of that. It's May. It's May, the lusty month of May.
Who do you like today? Can you say it?
Sure.
It's not a
Outwork.
bad luck thing.
I like Outwork. That's my horse. That song, by the way, is from Camelot. Lusty month of May.
And a fly ball into right. I'll return with Casey Kasem.
It's one of the perks of working in New York.
Oh, I bet.
Broadway.
3-2 Cardinals in a here at Busch Stadium. Let's check in once again with Jim Hayes.
Dan, more on Carlos Martinez, who was pulled from last night's game because of fatigue. Apparently lingering effects from a flu bug he had dealt with in his previous start. Mike Matheny told me Carlos came in before the game, got hydrated, got an IV, and seemed high energy. Mike says he just suddenly lost his strength. I asked John Mozeliak today if they're considering moving Carlos's next start back. He said he met with the team medical staff this morning, and at this point, with an off day Monday, they think it won't be necessary. Dan Moe said if Carlos needs more time, he'll get it. And as you pointed out, Carlos says he'll be fine for his next start here in the lusty month of May.
Oh, I know Tim loves that.
Ah, that avoid Jimbo.
Jim, what else did you learn in that conversation with John Mozeliak, who was your live guest on our pregame show today, as Adams grounds to Harrison from the outfield grass?
Well, he gave us an update on Tommy Pham, who's on a rehab assignment with Memphis. Coming into today, Pham 1 for 6 with Memphis. Played in a few games. Because Pham coming back from an oblique, Mo said they're going to give him time and be very careful because those oblique issues can be tricky. They want to make sure he's really 100%, so they're going to give him time. And then admittedly, he says, once he's ready to go, they will have a tough decision to make in regard to their roster. Dan.
Just had a shot of Brian Pena there, who, as Jim noted yesterday, swinging from both sides of the plate, switch hitter, and was running on a treadmill, so his return is getting closer by the day. This is popped up by Jerko, left side, and out of play. Two strikes. Mother's Day tomorrow. That's grounded to third, taken by Gung. And this Mother's Day, a special one for Jeff Locke. Admittedly, he says he's kind of a mama's boy, and twice a day he calls his mother Pam. Last September, his mother didn't answer the phone. She was in the hospital, had stomach issues, and he found out that his mom had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And so it's very, very special. He said Mother's Day tomorrow. She's still with us, going through bouts of chemotherapy. He said his mom used to drive 3 hours for his practices. So he grew up east. His dad was influential in his baseball career as well.
One day you never take for granted.
No, sir. We'll hear from a lot of the Cardinals tomorrow and the importance of their mothers and getting them to the big leagues. 1, 2, 3 for Jeff Locke. Kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive a performance t-shirt courtesy of Pasta House. Children under 48 inches will also take home a free Six Flags ticket. 30,000 fans receive a family attraction savings card. That's coming up on Sunday, May 22nd. The Cardinals take on the Diamondbacks as Tony La Russa's crew will be in town. There's some talk recently. There was an article written in Arizona about Chip Hale saying that this was a big month for him. The manager of the Diamondbacks, and Tony La Russa came out and said, no, sir. He said Chip Hale is safe. He said our pitching staff needs to be better, namely Shelby Miller. He said if we can get him to relax, we'll be okay. Here's Jeff Locke at the plate. Soft liner to short for the first out. That's 10 in a row for Adam Wainwright.
You think about the direction this game took early. 4 straight hits, 2 runs in the first inning, and it could have been a deluge of hits and runs for the Pirates. And Adam Wainwright, to his credit, stopped it, gave the offense a chance, and now the Cardinals are up by a run. You don't know how it's going to turn out, but great way of applying that tourniquet in the first inning by Wainwright.
Well, you're right. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Top of the lineup in John Jaso. Curveball and a strike.
Remember the 3-1 pitch to Cervelli? Nobody out. Runners on at first and second. He thought it was low.
No, his bases loaded.
Bases loaded. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, you're looking at walking in a run potentially.
That's right. That's right. Walking in a run, and then he threw the curveball on the 3-2 count. Got Cervelli, and a sac fly by Gung, and then he got Harrison.
He jammed him. Taken there by Jerko for out number 2.
See, again, you can jam hitters, major league hitters in particular, when you get ahead. You can't jam them when you're behind. And that's another reason for the importance of staying ahead of hitters. Wainwright, fastball, tight to Jaso, tied him up for the out. Catcher and a pitcher's responsibility. Call for pitches and throw pitches that keep the ball off the fat part of the bat. That 10 inches, the sweet spot.
McCutchen doubled off the wall in left. He was about a foot away from a home run. That was in the first inning, then was called out on strikes back in the second. And at that at bat, Wainwright fell behind 2 balls, no strikes, and came back to get McCutchen looking. So 2 outs, nobody on, and the 1-1. He's the kind of player, McCutchen, that can carry a team too. He gets hot, all of a sudden they start winning more games.
Like he did last year in the month of May. Last 3 weeks of May. Scalding hot.
Curveball, and he struck him out.
What
5
a pitch
today.
What a pitch. Heartening, isn't it?
It's 12 in a row.
the maturation of his curveball. It wasn't good early. This is the first inning to Polanco, kind of a roller up there to Gregory. But in the fourth inning, a better curve to Cervelli. And then to McCutchen, who made the last out of the last inning. That's his best of the day.
A lot sharper.
Yeah.
Isn't that baseball, though? I mean, you're always making adjustments. Maybe he figured out something mechanically with that pitch, getting a feel for it.
Or Yachty. It's what you see back there. You know, trust me, because I can't tell you how to throw it, but I am an expert. That's Yachty, by the way. I am an expert, and he is, of reading a pitch. I know exactly whether the curve breaks. That's where his expertise comes. Because stands to reason he's seen so many of them.
Sure.
92 starts together with Wainwright and Yachty now.
This today
or so
makes it 191 today. Guy named McCarver, along with Bob Gibson, had 197 starts together.
I was not pleading for that, but thanks for the pop, Dan.
Of course. You just know each other so well when you are behind the plate that many times, that many pitches, those innings that pile up as Wainwright chops it to third.
Well, yeah,
it's true.
And again, the expertise comes from a catcher's standpoint in seeing it so many times and seeing how you deliver it. Are you too, no pun intended, deliberate in delivering it?
Did he know, and did you know, basically you put down the sign? I mean, there was no hesitation. I mean, you guys were in sync.
Well, and Gibson demanded that you put down the first thing you think of. He works so fast, lightning fast. And that's the conundrum and the problem that anybody had catching him early in their career. He wanted to work so fast. Johnny Keane used to say, go out and slow him down. And I'd say, Johnny, he doesn't want to be slowed down. So after I was in the big leagues for a couple of years and could say this, I said, John, if you want to slow him down, you go out there and tell him and see how I feel.
He wasn't about to listen, was he?
No. So John never went out there. Red never went out there. I remember a very, very funny story, and I guess we have time to tell it. But Barney Schultz was the pitching coach in 1973, and the Phillies were rattling around Bob uncharacteristically. They were hitting a lot of balls hard, and Barney used to hate to go to the mound. I mean, hated. And Bob would say, Barney, now if I threw a knuckleball, you could tell me what was wrong, but I don't throw a knuckleball, and you did. So don't tell me how to pitch. And so he had a point.
That looked to be a ball, by the way, to Carpenter.
Looked to be low, yeah. And maybe outside also for the second out. And finally, after the Phillies had scored something like 7 or 8 runs, after 3 1/3, Barney took forever getting to the mound. And said, Bob, and Bob said, before you say a word, where have you been? Said, I've been getting killed out here, and you're sitting in the dugout. And Barney's chest stuck out. I mean, it was things you never hear about. It was really a precious moment.
Have you ever heard the interview with Jack Buck and Barney Schultz?
Oh, no.
Is that not classic?
Classic.
So Jack is doing his bucket bat, and we're here with Barney Schultz. And Barney, tell us about your rotation the next week. Well, we've got this guy. I mean, he went around for 3 minutes.
Sight, days west. Where you're listening and going, what's he talking about?
He said, you can hear Jack laughing as it's going along, and he's not meaning to laugh.
Oh, my gosh.
He says, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, we got to do it again. Barney says, why?
Classic.
Oh, gosh. Great Barney Schultz. What a great guy.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Getting my rear end knocked off out here, and he didn't say rear end, but You've been sitting in the dugout all comfortable and everything. Letting. Oh,
That's
man.
great.
Oh, it's hilarious.
What if Bob is traveling this weekend or watching our game?
Don't know.
One or the other. He's still busy on the card circuit signing.
Yep.
As Piscotty pops it up out of play. Piscotty homered earlier in this game that was in the third to break a 2-2 tie. The Cardinals trying to win game number 500 here at the new Busch Stadium. We say new Busch Stadium 3 in its 10th year. Cardinals had the best record at home a year ago in all of baseball.
I think Steven wants that last pitch back.
Three and two.
Talked about Adam Wainwright coming around. Well, Locke has done the same. He's retired 8 in a row.
Two outs, nobody on. 3 and 2 the count. And Piscotty hits a high fly ball out to the left and drifting back on the track to make the catch. Starling Marte. 9 in a row set down by Locke. We played 5 here from Busch Stadium. Cardinals on top in game 2.
Both pitchers locked in right now, with Locke retiring 9 in a row. And then Adam Wainwright, since that first inning, has allowed 1 base runner. That was a hit by Jordy Mercer to lead off the second inning. So what started out as a wild game, 4 of the 5 runs scored in the first inning. And now we have a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers have righted themselves.
So it'll be Polanco, Marte, and Cervelli. Good curveball, drops in for strike 1. Cardinals now in those classic Saturday uniforms with St. Louis on the front. The cream color, the wear for Saturday home games.
Birds on the bat, one of the great brands in American sports.
Sure is.
Oh, good curveball right there. He didn't get the call.
Chevy Fox tracks as we take a look.
When a curveball like that gets the hitter to move his feet like it did to Polanco, then you know you got him. See how the feet are moving?
Helping us in the booth today, Natrell Johnson, who's taking in his first ever Major League game.
All right.
Natrell Johnson. Might be the only one with any common sense up here.
Got your birds on the bat, red Cardinal shirt.
Oh yeah. The 2-2 is popped up. So Natrell, this is your first game, right?
Yes.
And you're taking it in from the green seats, is that right?
Yeah.
You know, not every game is usually like that. I don't know if you knew that. Did you make Mr. Peacock get you some food?
Yes.
You see anything anything else than yes?
Yeah.
How old are you?
11.
11.
11. Okay. What do you think?
It's fine.
Are you playing baseball too?
Yeah.
What position? You don't know yet.
Anywhere they put you, right? Well, you're a big guy. You probably hit for power.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Mr. McCarver?
Right there.
You like Mr. McCarver?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You have to say that, right? That's right.
But you're having fun.
Mhm.
Well, we got a out of him. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you here.
Thank you.
0-2 the count on Starling Marte. Then pitch in the dirt. One and two the count. I was about 10 or 11 my first Major League game.
Were you?
Yeah. Here's a ground ball backing up Adams. Flips to Wainwright. Give Mom the gift of Cardinals baseball, the new 3-game Mama Packs. So if you haven't gotten your present for Mom or your wife, this is the time to do it. Now through Sunday, 3 great packs. Matchups with the Cubs, Royals, and more, starting at just $84. For more details or to purchase, visit cardinals.com/mama. So 2 outs, nobody on. 1-run lead for the Cardinals.
When I was 11 years old, my first trip out of Memphis was to St. Louis to see the Cardinals play.
And a base hit into center.
Eddie Stanky was the manager.
Favorite player growing up?
Well, my favorite was Monty Irvin of the Giants, but because I had a speech impediment, Jabo Jablonski and Rip Rapolsky of the Cardinals.
Tough names.
It was alliterative and kind of rolled off of my tongue. Very few other things did at that time, might add. Stan the Man is kind of tough to.
Yeah.
Kind of tough to grow up in Memphis and not be a Stan the Man fan.
Growing up in the 70s and 80s, hard not to be an Ozzie Smith fan.
Oh yeah, the Wiz.
Jung Ho Gung, sac fly RBI in the first, grounded out to short. We're still waiting for that ovation for David Freese, who's back in town. Gung made the start last night, fresh off the DL. There's David Freese. 2-1.
A little slide move by Adam Wainwright right there. There's David Freese, who could very well be in this game as a pinch hitter or double switch or something like that later on.
Hitters count 3 balls and a strike on Gung.
Gung had 2 home runs last night, both on fastballs. One a high fastball to right, another a low fastball to left.
3-1 pitch on a hop to second. Jerko puts it away. The Pirates have left 4 on. We're midway through 6, and the Cardinals have a 1-run lead. Adam Wainwright got off to slow starts in the first inning, but since that time they've settled in. At one point, Wainwright set down 14 in a row. You know, Tim, you never know who may arrive in the booth here at the ballpark at home, and it was nice to have a young man in Trell Johnson, his first ever game, and then a few weeks ago during a one-hitter we had a tuba. Bob Uecker and Mike Shannon showed up with a tuba.
I'm telling you.
You never know.
We think it was a tuba. Mike had gotten the tuba from a pawn shop or someplace. And Bob Uecker ended up signing it. The tuba story goes back to 1964, first game of the World Series, and rolling hilariously in front of the Yankee dugout, the visitors, for the first 2 games.
That's well hit out to left. And the catch is made by Marte.
Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, and the reason they were laughing, I mean really laughing, Bob Uecker was shagging fly balls with a tuba. The tuba was abandoned by Bob Cuban, whoever played the tuba in Bob's band, and the band was on the field because this is, you know, over 50 years ago, and Bob eventually had $250 subtracted from his winner's share of the World Series, $8,600. He got $8,350, and the $250 was taken out for tuba repair.
It was worth it.
That's the truth.
It was worth it,
and
though.
Bob is still miffed.
Is he really?
Oh yeah. Bob's got every penny he ever made, you know, by the way.
You would know your former roommate?
Former roomie.
It's hilarious. The 1-1 pitch. Grichuk has a base hit, 2 RBIs. Key at bat with the bases loaded back in the first. He's now driven in 15.
Good hitting situation right here. You hit out of an imaginary box. Well, you shrink the box now with the count 3 balls and a strike. It's not exactly where you want it. Take it.
Grichuk. Oh, what a play. Diving stop by Jordy Mercer.
But a good at bat by Grichuk. Hit the ball right on the button. Jordy Mercer made the play. You keep hitting balls right on the button like that, you'll have something to show for it very shortly. Good play by Mercer. And a spread eagle on the ground after that play. Going, Jordy, get up.
Here's a ground ball that's hit to third, and Gung slings it over to Jaso. And a 1-2-3 inning. Couple of hard hit balls, but nothing to show for it. We head to the 7th. Cardinals on top. FS1 as the circuit heads to Kansas for racing under the lights at the GoBowling.com 400. Jimmy Johnson looks to defend his title from last year. All begins at 6, only on FS1. Watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Mike Shannon Jersey Day. Wonder if Mike is having some kind of party here at the ballpark. I would venture to say yes, even whether or not it was Mike Shannon Jersey Day.
Yeah, makes sense.
Likes to have a little fun.
We were expecting to see O up in the bullpen, and I believe that's O warming right now. Is it?
Yep. Harrison, Mercer, pitcher spot as we play here in the top of the 7th. Take away the first inning. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have been the best that Wainwright has strung together this year. Good fastball.
And pitching with such an air of confidence right now. Again, you don't know what's going to happen. We understand that, but he is dealing.
Go back to your point, Tim, and how guys look. You know, we're talking about Randall Grichuk, and just you know, now you're starting to see
language.
A little confidence. I think you're seeing the exact same thing here with Adam Wainwright. Look from behind home plate, the 1-2 pitch. Celebrating here at the ballpark, Travis Green. Have a nice note from Travis and his buddies. The bachelor party. Oh boy. They're out at the AT rooftop seats. Travis, all we can say is good luck. Harrison out to left. Well hit, and it's off the wall. Leadoff double. for Josh Harrison.
Now that was a hanging breaking ball, hanging curveball from Adam Wainwright. Didn't have that downward movement. And major league hitters hit those balls hard, right below the letters, about between the letters and the belt buckle.
Wainwright, by the way, is due up fourth for the Cardinals. Mercer here, and then Joyce. Joyce has turned into one of the top pinch hitters in the game early on. There's the bunt, and Carpenter, this is going to be close, just gets Jordy Mercer.
Great recovery by Carpenter. Carpenter took that half step back toward the bag, thinking that Wainwright was going to field the ball and perhaps they'd have a play on at third. But think about it, Marte's got too much speed. Get the one out. But Carpenter took the one step back and then recovered in time to barehand and throw out Mercer. Good play.
Last 9 pinch hitting appearances for Matt Joyce. He's 4 for 6 with 3 walks. Overall as a pinch hitter, 6 walks, 8 RBIs, 3 home runs.
A guy who'd been around for a long time, and this winter went to winter ball to hone his skills as an older hitter. What, Matt is 34, I believe, something like that.
Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more now until September 29th. Receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. It's our Hyundai pitch arsenal for Seung-Won Oh. It's interesting move here to bring the righty in to face Joyce. You're not going to have Lyons available after what he did last night, but you do certainly, you would think, have Segrist at least for one hitter.
Yep, or two with Jaso on deck. By the way, other than his strikeouts on balls on contact, he has 12 groundouts and 16 flyouts. He's not really a ground ball pitcher, but he would be against a right-handed batter, but not against the left-hander. Because in many ways, throws that ball right into a left-hander's wheelhouse, and that's down and in. So we'll see.
The third time the Cardinals relievers recorded 8 or more strikeouts in a game, with 7 of those coming from Tyler Lyons. Infielders drawn in, 1 out runner at third.
I think the one thing that made Mike make this move over the others is the unfamiliarity of Matt Joyce with O. First time he's ever faced him.
You also saw it there, what he's done against the righties, the lefties. This lead is on the line here. The 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
That little hesitation in O's delivery. There's nothing clean about that delivery from a hitter's standpoint. Can't really pick up the ball as fluidly as you would against other pitchers.
0-2 pitch. Inside. Remember Rob Nin, outstanding closer?
Oh, yeah.
Mike Matheny compared this delivery to Rob Nin with a
Boy,
little toe tap.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's good. I haven't thought about that. Toe tap and then the delivery. Not a sinker.
Kept it front with a little help from our home plate umpire, I believe.
At a 57-foot fastball off the, actually right under the armpit of Yadi Molina. And then it hit the home plate umpire Ed Hickox.
The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. A play at the plate. Runner is hung up. That's Harrison. He'll try to stay in the rundown. Carpenter tags him out. Throw to second. And backing up. A heads-up play is Stephen Piscotty.
Boy, was it ever. Joyce goes to second base, so in effect they exchange base runners with 2 outs. Joyce is at second and Marte was at third. That was really a heads-up play by Piscotty, and had he been offline, that ball may have drifted into right field, into the position.
They always say, Tim, as you know, every type of play, there's somewhere to go
That's
for
right.
everybody
There's
on the
someplace
field.
to be.
Yep. So here's Jaso, who singled and scored back in the first. He's flied to center and grounded out to second. 2 outs, man at second base. Strike one.
This is one of the reasons that baseball in its history says that it's a bad thing to bunt to tie when you're on the road. It's okay to do that when you're at home because you have that extra 3 outs in the bottom of the inning.
0-2. Good play here by Adams.
Very good play by Matt. Matt charged that ball, caught it on the grass. Good throw to Molina. Yadi runs Marte back, and Matt Carpenter made the play to force Marte out of the baseline, so he was out automatically, and the throw to second, Piscotty backed up.
0-1 strike away from getting out of the jam. 0-2 pitch, fouled back.
Infielders are encouraged in situations like this, play a step deeper than you normally would. So on a ball in a crease anywhere, you can knock it down, keep the base runner at third base.
It's another 0-2 pitch from Seung-Hwan Oh. And it's a base hit, and this game will be tied. Run will score. And it's 3-3 as Jaso ties it up. 2-out base hit into center field.
Jaso hits it right into the shortstop position. beating the shift. One hopper. Jaso proven to be a very, very tough out in that leadoff hole. So the base running of Joyce going to second on the out recorded in the rundown pays off for the Pirates as they tie the game.
It'll go unnoticed once this game is over.
Yeah.
You take it for granted, but Joyce winding up at second base, big. Now McCutchen struck out twice, doubled off the wall and left.
So the credit really goes to Marte to stay in the rundown long enough to give Joyce a chance to get to second to score on the base hit by Jaso.
A pickoff to first and save.
Molina's so quick. He's so quick that Matt Adams really didn't have a chance to get back to make the tag, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
That's how quick Molina is.
The 2-0 to McCutchen, outside and low. That ball nearly in right field. 3-0 the count. Nobody throwing in the Cardinals pen.
The first time this year that I've noticed that reaction by O. He's upset with himself. Meticulous personality.
Had the green light, 3-1.
Not uncommon for Korean players or Japanese players to be a little bit tougher on themselves perhaps than they should be. Almost like the culture demands it. It's built in.
There's a walk to McCutchen. So much so, Tim, that in the games that we were doing in Atlanta, you may recall the Friday night game, O came in, walked a man, eventually didn't come around to score. The next day he went into Mike Matheny's office and apologized.
I remember you telling that story.
And that's being hard on yourself.
Yeah, it is typical.
Let's see if the Cardinals want to get somebody up and throwing. Here's Polanco. Fastball taken high. Now Molina out to visit, buy some time for his bullpen. And just now Kevin Segras gets up. Made me think when they went with O at the time that Segras may have been unavailable.
Right.
But now that you see him up and throwing, you know he's ready to go.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
And a ground ball that's hit to second. Pirates strand 2. But they pick up the tying run. Matt Joyce is a pinch hitter. Harrison in a rundown. He takes second base. Big play in this game. Eventually comes around to score. Inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Father and son, they're into it. 3. Chevy called to the pin. Neftali Phillies takes over for Jeff Locke, who gave the Pirates 6 innings here this afternoon.
Earned run average a little high for a guy in his position, but you can see very effective in the strikeout. Strikeouts to bases on balls 5-1.
First pitch to Adams, and a ground ball hit left side. Gung, 1 pitch, 1 out. So this is how you take in a baseball game. Front row. That's the young man that was with us in the booth next to Dave Peacock there on the left, who did a very good job in trying to keep the football team here in St. Louis. Dave does a lot of things that people don't know about, charitable efforts and whatnot, and helping out that young man and taking him to his first game. Better not get used to those front row seats, though.
Or coming to the booth.
Yeah. Next time he's going to be in box seats and say, this stinks.
I'm used to something better than this.
Yeah. See, the way I do it, the old ballpark, 7th inning, the gates are wide open, I'd sneak in. Don't tell Mr. DeWitt that, though. The 1-1.
Modern version of the knothole game.
Right.
Huh?
Well, 2014, Neftali Phillies finished up that year with an ERA under 2. Last year, battling through some arm issues, it was around 6.5. This year, just under 5. We told the story last night. Phillies was the man on the mound that gave up the triple in the 9th inning of Game 6 of the World Series to David Freese. Had him down 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, as fate would have it, they're teammates.
The 2-2. Still have not seen David Freese in either one of these games. Ooh, up and into Jerko. It'll be, when it happens, one of the loudest ovations for an opposing player that we've ever seen. And you'll probably see the pitcher step off the mound, Molina move out in front of the plate to make sure that the moment is what it can be. That will have to wait. Right now it's a 3-3 game. And the 2-2. Jerko, a swing and a miss. Jeff Locke, the starter today, 6 innings, 3 runs on only 4 hits, 1 strikeout, walked 2.
Phillies made some very difficult pitches on Jerko. Jed's had a tough play at the plate. 2 ground balls in the infield and a strikeout.
Here's a lead miss Diaz, lined out, also popped out.
I think it would be a mistake for the Pirates to come inside to Diaz. We've seen what he can do on that ball up and in. He can turn on that ball.
Saw it last night on a hard hit ground ball to Gung, who was positioned about 2 feet off the line, which is where he's at right now, and also lined out. That's what they're doing, staying away.
Yeah, you can see Cervelli creeping outside, but make a mistake outside, it's a single. You make a mistake inside, and Diaz, as we said, can hit that ball a long way.
Diaz out to left. This ball will get down into the gap in left center. And it's a double for Aledmys Diaz. Did that seem to you that Marte gave up on that ball a little too early?
I'm not sure he saw it well, Dan. Coming out of the white shirts. But right there, that is not a bad pitch. That ball is low and away, and as we've seen so often, great plate coverage by Diaz. There are so many positive things about Aledmys Diaz that you don't know where to start. Talked about his poise as a defender, how he's grown into that position. I mean, he is the shortstop of the St. Louis Cardinals right now. And yet another extra base hit.
Here's Brandon Moss. This is where he's done most of his damage as a pinch hitter. The Cardinals, by the way, with 21 pinch hits, 7 home runs, 14 RBIs from those off the bench. First man in scoring position for the Cardinals since back in the 2nd inning.
He only the second base runner since Wainwright had a 2-out double in the 2nd.
And the home run by Piscotty, and now the double by Diaz. He's got the green light. The 3-0. A strike to Moss. This big crowd ready to erupt. That had been 14 in a row set down. As Moss hits a fly ball, right field, spun around Polanco and makes the catch on the track. We played 7 here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals have left 3 on. Polanco was spun around but makes the play. It's 3-3. All Sundays like tomorrow, starting 2 hours prior to every home game. Enjoy games, prizes, free North Star ice cream treats while supplies last in the Ford Plaza, presented by Prairie Farms. So that young man gets a chance to see a good ball game here today too, as we are tied up 3-3. It'll be Marte, Cervelli, and Gung. Segras pitched yesterday. Last night in the 8th, gave up a long home run just to the left of Big Maclan hit by Gung, and he'll face him, the third man up, in this inning. Marte, Cervelli, Gung against Kevin Siegrist. Marte 0 for 6 against the Cardinals lefty in his career. Today 1 for 3 with a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. That was back off of Adam Wainwright in the first inning. Kevin is 4-0 this year. 12 innings, 17 strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2.
First 2 pitches, he's throwing harder now than he did last night.
Just thinking that. 94 on that last pitch. Goes back to reading as the game goes along. So here he is throwing harder. You've got a shift on here. Does it benefit you to play him to pull as much as the Cardinals are right now? We'll find out. Doesn't matter. Strikeout of Marte as he elevated that pitch at 94.
Boy, that was nasty. It seemed faster than it was because of the location. Ball up and in and crowded Marte, taking all his power away. That's what happens with pitchers, pitch hitters like Marte, who likes to extend his arms. You don't let him do it.
Last pitch brought to you by Plaza Tire Service. Cervelli 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Last night, just the second time that the Cardinals and their relief corps have allowed multiple home runs in a game this year. Granted, they pitched the majority of the game after the injury to Martinez. Or we should say the fatigue of Carlos Martinez. The 1-1. Cervelli hitless in 4 plate appearances against the Cardinals lefty. Gung, the man on deck, 2 for 4 with a home run against Kevin.
Four fastballs, time for a changeup to Cervelli. Be a good pitch. Siegrist has a good changeup. It's been one of the big differences in his effectiveness this year.
Fights it off. Little flare into shallow right for a base hit. Go ahead run is aboard. Blues are now up 3 games to 2 in their second round series with Dallas. Watch player interviews, hear from the guys who know the Blues best. Missouri Lottery, Blues Live, our post-game show, Fox Sports Midwest. And our coverage of Game 5 from earlier today will happen after Cardinals baseball. Here's Gung. Sac fly, couple of ground outs, 1 out, runner at first. Strike 1. Young not running well since he returned from the injury, albeit brief, but they said even in the rehab assignment that he had at AAA Indianapolis, their affiliate at AAA, not running well, still favoring that left knee, but when you hit a couple of home runs, you can trot. That's what he's done in this series. You do think about the double play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Washington and Chicago underway from Wrigley in the 2nd inning. There's no score. Strikeouts are up across the board again for the 6th consecutive year in baseball. And right now, the bullpen collectively is averaging close to 10 strikeouts per 9, which is the highest average in Cardinals franchise history by their relievers. But it's only 4th in the big leagues this season, behind the Yankees, the Cubs, and the Mets.
They would make that makes so much sense, because with relievers you can right and left batters. Guys don't have to face them from the beginning of the game as a starter.
Specialization of the game, the hard throwers now.
Yeah. Conceivably, you could face a bullpen for 7, 8 innings and have them right and left every hitter you throw in there.
42,338 here this afternoon. 4-2-3-3-8. Two and two the count.
Yeah, one of the reasons for Kevin Seagrist's effectiveness also is that he throws across his body. And you don't see too many left-handers, for whatever reason. Right-handers, there are more right-handers that do that, meaning they point to, Kevin points that foot like about 10 feet from home plate toward the first base side. That's throwing across your body. Doesn't open up fully.
2-2, hit down the right field line.
That's a perfect example right there. At delivery from the stretch, it's the right foot that you pay attention to, and he doesn't straighten it out toward home plate. You can see it's pointed almost in your living room. Very difficult to pick up.
It's another 2-2. Struck him out. 2 in the inning. The other aspect of this, Tim, that the Cardinals worked on with Kevin Seagrist, who was a starter in the minor leagues. Gary LaRocque moved him to the third base side of the rubber. And as you talked about, where the foot is pointed. So they made a couple of adjustments with him. They knew he had a good fastball. Felt this was his fastest way to get to the big leagues. And boy, has he been good.
Has he ever.
Discovered by Charlie Gonzalez, a scout formerly of the Cardinals, works in the state of Florida.
Nobody enjoying the playoffs, the hockey playoffs, any more than Seagrist either. From Buffalo, loves hockey, addicted to hockey.
And I'm sure he wants to see the Blues beat the Stars. The Stars beat the Buffalo Sabres when they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals many years ago. A controversial cup clinching goal by Brett Hull. Here's the 0-1. Lindy Ruff, by the way, was the coach of the Buffalo Sabres at that time, who's now the coach of the Dallas Stars. And Ken Hitchcock was coach of the Stars at that time, who's now the head coach of the Blues. See, it all just works itself back. 0-2 the count. Good piece of hitting on an 0-2 pitch. A base hit served into right. Cervelli on his way to third. It's the third base hit for the Pirates on an 0-2 pitch here today.
Well, I'll tell you, after those 2 fastballs inside, Josh Harrison just reaches out. This is textbook hitting right there. With the 8th place hitter up there and 2 outs, it'll be interesting for Yadier Molina. I've seen catchers go out and give different signs in these situations. But if Harrison has any kind of jump, I don't think Molina's going to throw through to second base.
2 outs, 2 on. Strike to Jordy Mercer. David Freese has moved to the on-deck circle.
Thing about David Freese pinch hitting in a close game is that his introduction, first time since 2011, may impede his applause.
0-2. Segras trying to strike out the side here in the top of the 8th. Maybe a case tomorrow with a 3rd game of the series and Gunn coming off the injury that David Freese would start.
Perhaps.
In game 3, but right now we're worried about game 2. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Jordy Mercer. On its way. Struck him out. Strikes out the side. That pitch at 95 from the Cardinals lefty. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By your local Volkswagen dealer. And taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. Jared Hughes missed the first month of the regular season out with a muscle strain. Very reliable last couple of years. It was just a season ago he had 76 appearances. This is our Chevy called to the pen. The Cardinals have the top of the lineup with Carpenter, Piscotty, and Holiday. First pitch, a strike at the knees. Jared Hughes is back on the big club on May 1st and was charged with an unearned run in the 8th inning of that game. His first appearance since last year. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Carpenter. Carpenter today with a double. Run scored back in the first. He's fly to deep center and struck out. Ground ball hit to the right side. There's Harrison ranging to his left for the out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals have, from the 7th inning on, 68 runs and 19 home runs in the first 5 weeks of the regular season. Best in baseball. Jared Hughes came up in 2011 with the Pirates. Best season was 2 years ago with a 1.96 ERA. 2-0 the count. The 2-0 pitch. Cardinals with the 3rd most homers this season in the National League. Piscotty a home run back in the 3rd, a solo shot. 3-1, Holiday on deck. Trevor Rosenthal, the Cardinals closer, is getting loose in the pen. Down the left field line. Well hit, and it is fair. Piscotty wasn't sure whether or not that was fair. He had stopped. Winds up being a double and the go-ahead run in scoring position.
If you're not sure, stop at second, not stopping on your turn around first base. That's a danger of coming in the late innings of a tie game with a guy who could turn on a ball. Again, you make a mistake inside, it's could be a home run. In this situation, it is a fair ball, just barely hit the outside of the left field foul line and bounced in the stand. So Piscotty with a double. Now it's up to Matt Holliday, who has 8 lifetime walk-off hits, which is not a lot for a guy who's a slugger like that and a clutch hitter who's had a great career. Trying to add to that right now.
So here we are in the bottom of the 8th. 1 out. Go ahead run at second. Kubota power stats talking about home runs. What the Cardinals have done in their history against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Stan the man with 58 against Pittsburgh. Then Pujols, Hornsby, and Edmonds. Pretty good list. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Matt Holliday, by the way, 19 career home runs against the Pirates. 10 of those, 19 wearing the Cardinal uniform. Good numbers against Hughes. 5 for 10 with a home run. Outfield deep. They're straight away. Holliday rips it to short. And Piscotty back to the bag at second base.
The reason this is a good base running play is that Piscotty at second doesn't know where the shortstop is. You notice he looked over his right shoulder there was a shortstop, but you don't know. You know where the second baseman is because peripherally you can see him. But when that line drive is hit, sometimes if it's over the shortstop's head, you don't get as good a jump because you don't know whether he's going to make the catch or not. But it was good base running by Steven.
Now Grichuk. Grichuk with the bases loaded, nobody out in the first. A single that drove in 2. Grounded back to the pitcher and also lined out to short. Here's a 1-0. Grichuk, base hit into center. Here comes Piscotty. Randall Grichuk delivers 3 RBIs today, and boy, did he need that.
With 2 outs, it doesn't matter where the shortstop is. You take off, and that's what Piscotty did on a huge hit from Randall Grichuk. Stick your chest out.
I don't think anybody more than Grichuk needed a day like this afternoon. Real pick-me-up, crucial at-bats. It's not like the game was 9-0. These are big at-bats.
No. To tie in the first, driving in 2 on a single. And now with a run that put the Cardinals ahead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Inside to Molina. What awaits the Pirates, Trevor Rosenthal. What awaits this crowd, the potential pinch hitting appearance of David Freese. Two balls, no strikes. Two and one.
I'm a little surprised with there being 2 out. Molina finds the count, 2 balls and a strike. That a left-hander, this Kyle Lopstein, is not warming to face Matt Adams, who's on deck. Still only a 1-run ball game.
2-1 pitch inside. He walked him. Adams, by the way, 0 for 5 against Hughes. He'd love to change that right here.
Yeah, the Cardinals love this situation with a guy as hot as Adams has been, even though he's hitless in today's game. He's not gotten the ball out of the infield, but he has been a red hot hitter coming into the game, and here he is facing a yummy right-hander. Not often does Matt Adams face a right-handed pitcher late in the game, because then you can match him up.
Sure. And what you think about too, Tim, is that, you know, if you go to the lefty, you know, the Cardinals could counter with Eric Fryer or Ruben Tejada from the right side of the bench. That would seem to be very favorable for the Pirates. So I agree with you. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
You want Adams to do some damage? I wouldn't think so. They've got the shift on here for Matt Adams.
If you're a guy like Kyle Lopstein, you know Tony Watson's not coming to the game. He appeared last night. He's a real workhorse. But if you're, this really tells you, if you're Kyle Lopstein, what kind of aplomb, you're held by the manager.
Right-hander just started throwing in the pen. That ball gets away. Yeah, first base open. Would you rather face Adams with Hughes or Hughes and Jerko?
I think you got to walk him, don't you, Dan?
I do. First base open makes sense.
So if it was considered a mistake by Clint Hurdle not having the left-hander up, he can escape it by walking Adams right here.
Cervelli waiting to get the call of the four fingers. He's begging the coaching staff to walk him. I mean, he was standing, would not get back in his catcher's position.
As if to say, you got to be kidding me. You're not going to walk this guy?
Right. The 1-1 inside to Adams. 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, Cervelli peeking over into the dugout. I guess the question now is, does he even see a pitch to hit? The 2-1. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Adams on its way. Nearly hit him. Now, Tim, if you're Matt Adams, 3-2 first base open, you've got to be expecting off speed, yes?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if you're Hughes, you'd be running a risk with a fastball.
If you see a strike, swing at it.
And it's inside, so Jerko will hit with the bases loaded. This has been one aspect of the Pirates that has not been even close to where they were a year ago when they were the best in baseball ERA wise. Their bullpen was just sensational last year, and right now it's in the middle of the pack of all of baseball.
Yeah, well, with the exceptions of Mark Melancon and Tony Watson, everybody else is iffy.
Strike 1 on Jerko, who struck out and grounded out twice. 0 for 3.
Situation where one swing of the bat can make your day if you're Jerko.
Sure.
He has not had a good plate appearance today. One swing of the bat could change that.
0-2. Right-hander Garrett Cole will go tomorrow for the Pirates, so very well could see Colton Wong back in the starting lineup. Will be opposed by Michael Wacha. It's been a very good ball game here today. 0-2 pitch. Jerko may have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, that could have been a strike.
Two and two. Bases loaded, 2-2. Good cut. It's another 2-2 pitch to Jed Jerko. Jerko, little flare into shallow right. Polanco gliding in to make the catch. Piscotty, the big hit here in the bottom of the 8th. Or rather, Randall Grichuk with that big hit to drive in Piscotty. Steven had the double down the left field line. Cardinals on top. It's 4-3.
Lovely moment.
David Freese returns to St. Louis in the batter's box first time. Years in St. Louis, then traded away to the Angels. First pitch is taken for a strike.
Cardinals and their no doubles defense.
Ironically enough.
Same as Texas Victor Cruz on that fateful, from a Texas Ranger standpoint, fateful evening.
0-2 the count. Great moment.
What a moment.
The 0-2. Rosenthal in his career against the Pirates. This is his 30th appearance. 10 for 13 in save opportunities. Freeze. Hits it out of play.
All Cardinal fans know David with good power the other way. But Scotty respecting that in right field. So is Grichuk at center. Grichuk moving over toward right center field as we speak. Particularly against Rosenthal, I think you do that. I mean, David Freese's natural stroke is to right field.
One-two pitch. Oh. The 2-2. Ground ball that's hit to short, backhanded by Diaz. Low throw, and he threw it away. David Freese, by the way, in talking with him in Pittsburgh, he's in the best shape he's been in 3 or 4 years. Moving a lot better, and showed it right there. And Tim, he had all kinds of ankle issues when he first came up to the Cardinals, didn't run all that well. He's running as well as he has ever at any point in his major league career.
Consequently, no pinch runner right now by Clint Hurdle.
That'll be an error on Diaz, his 6th. And now John Jaso. So the leadoff man is aboard.
If you're thinking bunt, forget it. Hurdle's tried that once. Ended up tying the game in the 7th, but not here. Not with this guy hitting.
2 hits today. Run scored and an RBI. Singled on an 0-2 pitch back in the 7th. We've got rain moving in. It's gotten windy here at the ballpark. 2 balls, no strikes. By the way, Jeremy Hazelbaker is taken over in left field for the Cardinals. Puts away the shades with the clouds moving in and dark skies overhead. The 2-1. 3-1. Well, you go from what could have been a punch out of David Freese to an error, and now 3-1 on Jaso.
Make him put the ball in play. That's what Trevor Rosenthal's trying to do.
2 runners on.
With Trevor Rosenthal's stuff, sure Yadier Molina has talked to him about using the whole plate, not the corners. He doesn't need to be a guy in the corners. Head for the fat part of the plate. As Sean Rodriguez is now a pinch runner for Jaso.
The heart of this lineup coming up: McCutchen, Polanco, Marte. If we get there, McCutchen 4 for 13, a home run, and that home run was a walk-off right before the All-Star break a year ago.
Yeah, and Dan, a bunt in this situation is entirely different than just bunting to tie. Because when you bunt here, you not only move the tying run to third with 1 out, but the go-ahead run to second.
But you wouldn't be bunting with McCutchen, you wouldn't think.
No, I wouldn't think so. But it's a sounder play. That
Sure.
was my point.
Yeah.
You are facing one of the best relievers in the game.
And Molina out to visit. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Trevor's missing east and west. He's not missing up and down. Fastball's inside to Jaso with two balls and 3 balls. And now he misses away to McCutchen twice. if you're catching in this situation, really you just put the target down the middle of the plate. Again, use the middle of the plate. He's got too good of stuff to nitpick.
That error by Diaz, as I mentioned, it was his 6th. The Cardinals have committed 26 errors this year. The 2-0. That is a disturbing trend right now for this club. McCutchen 2 for 7 in the series. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lights have gone on here at the ballpark. They just turned them on. Tying run, David Freese at second base. Sean Rodriguez, go ahead run at first. And with a changeup, and it's 3-2. He got him. Went with the changeup on 3-2 and struck him out. Gutsy pitch.
Not how, it's if. Whew. Rosenthal with a 3-2 changeup. That was high. Not a good pitch, but gets McCutchen.
He throws 100 miles an hour, and he went with the changeup on 3-2. Now Polanco, who's 2 for 6 against the Cardinals closer. Double play could end it.
Yeah, Polanco too fast for that. I mean, you could get it, but he'd have to hit it right at somebody. That's where you want to pitch him. Good low ball hitter.
He's grounded into 3 double plays this year.
Excuse me, Dan. I think you do him a favor by throwing the changeup right here.
A pitch that sinks, goes down in the zone, and you speed up his bat.
That's exactly right. Right on the money, partner. I mean, if he hits you, if he hits a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right around the letters,
tip your cap.
Tip your cap.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Polanco. That pitch at 99. So 3 pitches in this at bat, 97, 98, and just seconds ago at 99. The 0-2. Change up, ground ball. Adams to second.
A good, cautious play by Matt Adams. Again, you're not going to double up Polanco, so why hurry it? I think Matt almost changed his tune. He looked like he was going to throw it hard, and then just took a little off to Diaz to make sure of one.
It's not an easy throw.
No, it's not. You got the base runner.
Exactly. And he's spinning on that play. I mean, there's a lot of that goes into that.
You bet.
So here we go. Marte against Rosenthal with the game on the line. He's 1 for 4 today. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and one. Looked to be a pitch that could go either way.
Just like this game.
The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. The question right now, Tim, would be, do you feel more comfortable with Cervelli potentially, even though you put the go-ahead run at second base?
No,
not
sir.
to walk him, but
I don't think so. Nope. I say get him out. Throw the heater.
Off-speed pitch.
3-1 changeup.
So here you go, 3-2 on Marte. Adams now moving off the bag. Polanco off with his pitch.
And you can bet Polanco will try to get an extra jump so he can score on a short double if that occurs.
He's gone with the changeup in this spot today. Does he do it again? 3-2. Driven out to left field. Hazelbaker won't get it. And Polanco racing to third. It's a ground rule double. And Polanco will be brought back to third base, and the Cardinals catch a break.
Polanco scores easily had that ball stayed in play. But it bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And a key hit from Starling Marte. What an at bat. The error very costly. A pitch by pitch. The fastball fouled away. Then he misses inside with a fastball. Same. And the count now 3-1. Changeup. And now the fastball, but it was lowered, and Marte took care of it.
So the game is tied at 4. Here's Cervelli. Little check swing. That is a fair ball. He tags out Cervelli, and the inning is over.
You gotta wonder what Cervelli was doing. The ball hit in foul territory, but that doesn't matter. Could have hit in foul territory and roll fair. That's what it did, and the Cardinals get the out.
Pirates tie it up. We head to the bottom of the 9th. It's 4-4. 4-4 game here in the bottom of the ninth. A.J. Schugel, who struck out 3 of the 9 batters he faced against the Cubs on Tuesday night, takes over, and our Chevy called to the pen. Something that has plagued the Cardinals, errors, and it comes back to cost them in this game with the error by Diaz. That was David Freese at the plate. He scores the tying run.
You don't mind the occasional error by an outfielder, but if you get too many errors by middle infielders in particular mounting up, then there could be trouble ahead.
Sure.
Certainly working against the Cardinals so far in this game.
So it's 4-4. Diaz looks at a strike, and we're underway here in the bottom of the ninth. Schugel, his contract was purchased from AAA Indianapolis back on April 13th. Lone rookie pitcher on this roster, 25-man roster of the Pirates. We talked about it at the time, and you mentioned it, Tim. You play behind Gregory Polanco. If you get a double, which we saw, he scores easily because he gets a running start. So the Cardinals really catch a break with a ground rule double.
Well, I'll say.
Huge. 0-2 to Diaz.
It's like a changeup or a palm ball.
The 1-2. 2-2.
If you're trying to determine what the pitch may be if you're at home, just remember, the tighter the grip, the slower the pitch.
Off speed again. Diaz, he could beat this out. Mercer, tough play to first, and save. Winning run is aboard.
Talk about sniffing a base hit. Diaz has never run from home to first faster than this and beat the throw. Clearly safe.
Now the Cardinals have some options here with Hazelbaker, who is a good bunter. He's the kind of guy that could bunt and beat it out too.
That's a good point.
It's another 2-hit day for Aledmys Diaz. First pitch to Hazelbaker will come in just a moment as they check on Aledmys Diaz, who has 1 steal this year. Jeremy, a defensive replacement for Matt Holliday. It's been Locke, Feliz, Hughes, now Schugel. Back on April 23rd at Arizona, inning and a third for this rookie, gave up 4 earned. Since that time, 6 1/3 and no runs.
I think I like the matchup not bunting. There was no sign of a bunt on the first pitch. Reason is Schugel throws that sinker. Hazelbaker, a good low ball hitter.
Good rip. This is what makes the game of baseball so great, because you point that out and now you get a strike, or if it was a ball, you know, you change with every pitch.
Sure. Part of the fun of the game.
The rain is close. The 1-1 pitch to Jeremy Hazelbaker. Long look. Now time is called.
Schugel throws to first, trying to get Hazelbaker to commit to a bunt. Finds out he's not bunting. Now he's holding the ball, trying to get Hazelbaker to commit to a bunt again. What's he doing?
Hazelbaker with a fly ball out to deep left. At the wall, and it's caught. Diaz back to the bag at first as Jeremy gave it a ride. Many of us here at the ballpark thought this one may have been gone, and so did Mike Matheny. Now Carpenter. Over the last 3 years, the Cardinals have had 8 walk-off wins against the Pirates. They've got 1 this year total. That happened the other night as Aledmys Diaz, the runner at first, scored the winning run against the Phillies.
I think Diaz could extend his lead at first base. He's not really off that far. A little overly cautious, understandable for a first-year player.
First pitch to Carpenter.
That's part of the thing also. As a rookie, you don't know the pitchers, you don't know their moves. How quick is he? Is he really giving us his best move? He may be saving that if I get off another half step. So maybe caution's the thing here.
0-1. Went with the changeup again. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's about as deep as you could play.
Unless you have a ticket.
They are deep. Here's a 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Carpenter with a high fly ball into deep right field. This may go. Walk it off. They've done it again. Walk-off home run against the Pirates. This time, Matt Carpenter.
That crowd around home plate, similar to that evening in 2011. The David Freese home run.
This time it's Matt Carpenter. We head downstairs and Jimmy is with today's hero.
The home run wins it walk-off style for Matt Carpenter. Take us through that at bat. A 1-2 pitch. You got a hold of it.
Yeah, you know, I was just looking for something up over the plate. I know he had a good changeup. That ended up being a changeup. He just left it up. I was able to put a good swing on it.
Diaz has been great all season long, getting on base there, getting things going.
Yeah, he's a great hitter, man. He gives us a chance to do something productive every time he goes up there, and he's fun to watch.
Second walk-off win of the season for you guys. Now it's against the Pirates. Does that mean a little bit more as you guys have battled, over the year?
Well, those guys play us tough every time we face them. Seems like it's an extra inning game or coming into the ninth every time. So they're a worthy adversary, and anytime you get a chance to beat them, it's fun.
Warm day today, but I guess it's a new thing. But Colton Wong totes that giant bucket of ice out there. He got you pretty good.
It actually felt really good. I mean, it's starting to cool off a little now as the weather comes in, but it felt nice.
Thanks for the time. Good job.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, Matt Carpenter makes it a walk-off winner for the Cardinals.
Okay, Jimmy, it was the return of David Freese to St. Louis. A huge ovation for him, but a little louder about a half hour later as Matt Carpenter hits a walk-off home run, and the Cardinals win it in the bottom of the ninth, 6-4.